You'll see it retail-wise up in our hunting section. We've got all sorts of firearms. There is a live fire shooting range on property, handguns only, nice clean 3 lanes, which is one of the weirder employee benefits that I've ever enjoyed, especially working in a hotel. But if I feel like it after work, I can go up to the shooting range and blow off some steam. We've also got a big aquarium there where we do daily fish feeding, and it's a little kind of talk-back section with the aquarists too. So guests can come in and they can hear somebody talking to them about the fish in the tank. That's a representation of the sort of fish that you would likely find in Tennessee, out in freshwater body in Tennessee. And all the while there's a scuba diver in there that's feeding them. That's kind of fun. I do that twice a day. And then you've got your hotel rooms all the way around the top. So at the far other ends there, that's the governor's suite. That's the really big one down at the end. And then you can see each of these squares here. Each of these is a screened-in porch for one of the standard rooms. Even our smaller rooms are pretty nice. We do have junior suites that face outside the pyramid. Those are on the corners. So you saw that picture of the terrace and how you could just kind of walk out and you're on the corner of the building. The junior suites are on the other 3 corners. So we've got little 2-room units where you got a king bed, 2 queen beds, nice living area. But then you can close a set of double doors to the hallway and it becomes a small hallway in between the 2 rooms. And then both of those rooms have French doors that go out to a patio, so you can get a little fresh air. I'd say best time for those would be spring. In the summertime, we do have mosquitoes. The city of Memphis does have mosquitoes, and one of the tougher guest complaints is when we have a sellout night and somebody left their door open and mosquitoes invited themselves into the building. I've had to raid our camping department for bug repellent a couple of times since I've been there. And this is just a cool aerial view. So this is somebody crawled out on the catwalk that was there from when it was an arena underneath the lookout and took this picture. Now here you can get a good view of the display boats that are down there too. All right, what questions can I answer for all of you? How much time do we have first?
You got 20 minutes.
Sweet. All right, I usually go over. Yes, ma'am.
How much does the governor's suite usually cost?
Good question. So on a slower night, Monday through Thursday, when our rates are lower, low occupancy, it starts around $650 plus taxes and fees. For the size that it is, that's pretty good. Yeah, that'd be like junior suite rates somewhere else. Is that yours or mine?
That's yours.
Thank you. So it would be around $650, but it can go all the way up $1,500, $1,600, depending on the night. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
I have a comment about the gar you're talking about. Like, I don't think they bite because I have a lake in Mississippi and they're all over that lake and I just swim and they don't touch me. I think they have really sharp teeth, but they're more scared of you than you are of them. So
Glad to know that.
yeah.
Glad to know that. Well, I'll keep that in mind when I go swimming in the middle of the pyramid. Yes, ma'am.
How do you handle all the pressure with all your responsibilities?
Very good question. So I'll tell you, you notice I started front of house, right? I started front line. I learned that, right? I learned a little bit at a time. It didn't all come at once. Little by little, I built up my what I was comfortable taking on, and that took some trial and error too. I mean, there's been times where I took on a little bit more than I could chew, and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to sort of share this with somebody else. But little by little, as you gain experience, like how many of you, show of hands, are hospitality majors? Awesome. Oh, yeah, great. Okay, while you're in school, go work somewhere. Part-time if you need to. I mean, just get your foot in the door somewhere, get some on-the-job experience. That's a really, really important part of things. It's one thing to have the degree, to walk out and think, okay, I got my diploma, where's my management job, right? But you really need to have some experience kind of dealing with the different parts of the teams that are going to be reporting to you. At the end of the day, we are all here to serve the guest. We are all equal, we are all here because we like to be of service. We have a heart for service. That's what has drawn us to this industry. As a manager, my job in that is to serve my team, right? I have to make sure that all the people that I get to work alongside have the tools that they need to do their job. And that might mean I'm accommodating their schedule. That might mean I'm giving them training on a certain program. I'm looking for talents that I can develop with them, areas where I can give them more responsibility. If I take care of them, they're going to take care of my guests. So part of the way that I do that is from having a little frontline experience in each of the places, each of the teams that report to me. I need to have some experience working alongside them, seeing what they go through. I'll tell you, my experience thus far has been front of house. That's really where I thrive. I love being around people. I like to be out in the middle of things during check-in, during the social hour, with everything that's going on. That's why evening manager was so much fun for me, because that's when we had all the banquets going on. That's where we had the restaurants full. That's when people would be kind of coming in to hang out and socialize in the lobby. That's really what I like. But I'll tell you, I know a very important part of the puzzle for me is going to be housekeeping. I need to go learn housekeeping. So right now, I'm focusing on the front office and really building my confidence there. I'm going to need to get some housekeeping experience under my belt, because if I'm ever going to lead a rooms division or be a general manager, I need to know what it takes to motivate a housekeeping team. Right? They don't get the same kind of instant feedback that you do at the front desk. They don't get somebody that's handing you a tip and saying, man, you just did a great job. Thank you so much for taking care of me. They might not hear that the same way. Right? So how do you motivate somebody that's going to be doing some of the hardest work in the entire hotel? So I know that's an important part of life for me. Probably in the next semi-5-year plan, I need to have some time leading a housekeeping team and kind of learning that part of it. Not to mention you got a whole different set of systems. So I know I rambled off the point a little bit, but basically, little by little, you get more experience. You get more experience in different departments. One cool thing, be right there. One cool thing that a lot of hotels around the downtown area do is they'll offer you chances to come in and be a manager in training or to intern. I definitely recommend that. Hey, if you're a freshman right now, I mean, go get a front desk job somewhere. Go get a concierge job. Go get a housekeeping job. Go work in a restaurant in one of the properties around. Get that little bit of experience. Then maybe a little later on, join one of these manager and training programs where they'll move you. They'll spend 2 months with the front desk. You'll spend 2 months with the sales team, 2 months with the housekeeping team, and they'll just move you around to give you a lot of different exposure. So that way, when you find yourself like a manager on duty for the property, you got to step in anywhere, you know that you can, right? You're not afraid to kind of get out there and say, oh yeah, I can help with that. Sure.
So when you were working as the VIP specialist for the Peabody, who were some notable people that you had to, I guess, appeal to?
Sure. I had a number of musicians, number of celebrities, entertainers, Kathy Bates, Snoop Dogg, John Stamos. Let's see. We had, who was it? Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe and John Stamos were here at the same night for 2 very different reasons. We tried to get John Stamos to march the ducks, and he knew Rob Lowe was in house, and he said, no, get Rob Lowe to do it. So had President Carter, President Clinton, had candidate Clinton, Hillary Clinton, when she was coming through, had a chief of staff of the Army that I've looked after, more than a few CEOs, because there's a lot of company, corporate business coming through. Had the princesses of York, Beatrice and Eugenie. We had one of the princes of Saudi Arabia, one of the Saudi royal family, come and stay with us. So each of those, thankfully, we live in the age of the internet, when I can look up local culture, customs, traditions, kind of find out. I mean, even something as simple as like we had a VIP coming from China. Well, I don't know much about that culture, right? But I went to some people that knew what they were talking about. I went to the internet and found, all right, we need to avoid this number of flowers in the arrangements. We need to have this color incorporated. One example, we had the CEO of Mitsubishi that was staying in house with us. So they were coming over from Japan with an entourage of high-level executives, right? But the CEO, he's the most important one. Well, you can't give him a gift in front of everybody else if you don't have gifts for everyone. I mean, I think if you're only giving it to the most important person in the room, so to speak, that's fine. But we had to look up, well, how do we give this gift? Oh, well, it needs to be laid in the room for them to find and open at their discretion, and then they come to you and say thank you. Right? So that was really cool job, because it took a lot of research to learn about the people that were coming to stay with us.
Definitely had to take some adjustment on the fly for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So one example is the princesses of York, Beatrice and Eugenie. We had them staying. They were in for a wedding in East Memphis, and you might have heard on the news. I think Prince Harry was here around that time, something like that, staying in a private home. But on the club floor, on the concierge level, we put them up there because that was key access only. It was the most easily securable floor. we did an afternoon tea service up there every day, right? Because we wanted to be hospitable, wanted to say, hey, we want you to feel at home while you're here, and that included fresh made scones every day. We do the blackberry jam or raspberry jam, Devonshire cream that was all created fresh every day. I mean, really nice service. They didn't touch it. They're in America, they wanted a cheeseburger, they wanted to try some ribs,
Yeah.
right? So they didn't go near it. We had somebody watching that afternoon tea service every single day they were there, they never went to it once.
That's funny. They were probably coming to ask you where the rendezvous was. Or
Yeah, really.
something.
It's kind of how it felt.
Yeah.
What else can I answer? Yeah,
What are the work hours like?
depends on the position. Flexibility is important. Flexibility is definitely important. Concierge, front desk, most of your activity is going to be between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m., depending on where you are. You're going to have AM, mid-shift, PM. You'll either work often on a team. I'll have my folks on 7 to 3, 3 to 11. Might have a mid-shift if I need some extra coverage, something like 9 to 5. You'll hear mid in our industry referred to something like 9 to 5. Mid in other industries may mean midnight. So if you hear mid-shift, you might ask, hey, does that mean middle of the day or does that mean midnight? But we might have somebody that kind of comes in if we've got a high volume of guests checking in and out that day. We'll bring in a little extra help kind of in the middle instead of just the check-in or the check-out shift. In my case, I've got night auditors on my team that fall under my realm. So the night auditors, we've got an overnight team. I've got an overnight lead as well. Me personally, I have kind of roughly administrative hours.